Welcome back to the channel. My name is Patrick and today I've got a special video for those of you who trade the Nas100. So last week I did a video revealing my trading strategy, and I tend to trade using currency pairs because of the trading sessions. And I backtested Nas100 before, so I know my strategy works here, and today I'm going to show you how I would trade the Nas100. So what we're going to do is do some backtesting, and I'll show you how I apply my supply and demand scalping strategy onto the Nas100 index. So what we've got here, so what we're looking for, should I say, is some aggressive buying and aggressive selling from consolidation. So we've got some here, but this is too choppy. It's not something I would trade. Price just doesn't know where it's going here, and I would not get involved in anything like that. I think this might have been based on some news, so it's not really something you want to get involved anyway. One of my rules is not to trade during the news release, so I wouldn't have got involved in that anyway. So okay, we've got some aggressive buying here. So got some consolidation and aggressive buying. So that's what we're looking for. So what we're going to do first is draw out the zone, and then we're going to wait for price to come back to that zone. So how I draw out my zones from the top here to this bottom here, and that's the zone where price was being contained in or consolidating in before it broke out, right? And that's the zone I'm interested in. So when price comes back to that zone for the first time here, it's what we're looking to scalp. So let's have a look what happens. So here's our imbalance that was created. So basically, as it works, when price is within the zone here, it's going down, going up, it's consolidating, price is being agreed. When price goes straight up here, there's a disagreement on price. There's basically more buyers than sellers, and that creates an imbalance. So when price gets up here and starts coming down, sellers have joined the market and is filling this imbalance. What we're interested in is this point where it broke. The theory is there are some remaining orders. So when price comes back there, we're going to get a reaction because of this aggressive buying. There's remaining orders and we're going to get a reaction. So as you can see, we do get a reaction. So price comes into the zone. So there's two ways of finding an entry. You could do a market order or you could do a pending order. If you do an pending order, your entry is here at the first touch of the zone, and you would have got a 107 point move there. Yeah, that's 107 points there, with a fair bit of drawdown. That would have been, call that 69 points drawdown. If you're doing a market order, you're trying to catch this move near the close of this candle. So it would draw down, closes there, so you're catching it somewhere in the midpoint of this candle possibly, and you could caught it there and caught you a 138 point move with a, what was that, 37 point drawdown. Yeah, it's about, let's call it, yeah, let's call it about 40 points drawdowns, round it up, 40 point drawdown. So that's the move. It worked out. In terms of risk management, in terms of where you placed your stop loss, in terms of how much buying power you use, is something you need to figure out. I do have a system. I may share that with you in the future. If there's enough demand, I may show you how I would trade that using the right buying power and risk management. But for now, we're just focusing on the strategy and we're going to keep it moving. So that's the first example there. Let's see if we can find any more examples. So we've got some buying, some aggressive selling here. Now, this ascending price action is a lot more difficult to trade than the previous one, where it's just got a clear base, clear breakout. This is a lot harder to find the correct entry because there could be multiple entries. So if I just look here, from what I can see, there is a little base. Let's go. There is a little base just there. I'm going to see now, I can scroll over, see if our zone holds and if it gives us our TP. So let's draw that across. Don't think price has reached there yet. No, price hasn't reached there yet. So can't really use that in this example. So keep it moving. There is consolidation here and there is a break, but it's not much of a move, and price returns to it straight away. So it's not something we could trade here. You do get an initial reaction from that zone, but it's not much of a move at all. So we're looking for aggressive buying or aggressive selling, and this is just not aggressive enough. So keep it moving. Okay, so we've got some aggressive buying here, but as you can see, price has traded in it within this imbalance already, so we're not interested in that, so we're going to keep it moving. This is what we're interested in. So aggressive selling here is very clean. That's what I'm interested in, and I could trade that with confidence. So I'm going to draw out my zone here first. Drag it across. And let's zoom in. First I'll show you the zone. So from the peak here to these lows here, that's our zone. And we're waiting for price to touch there for the first time. We're going to scalp that move. So there you go, first touch within this 5-minute candle. Gives us 109 points reaction with, let me just zoom in so you can see the drawdown. So 0 drawdown. So that's not even, I don't know, would you even call that a point? That's 0 drawdown. And it gives us 110 points moves. So what was that? Risk to reward ratio wise, that's 0 to 10. I don't know. What would you call that? I don't even know what you call that. So yeah, it's a great move there. And first touch is what we're interested in. We're not interested in it for the second touch. We're not interested in third touch. As you can see, we would have broke through our zone. We're not waiting for candlestick formations. As you can see, there was none. It's an aggressive entry from the first touch of our zone. Gives us our move. Within 5 minutes, within 10 minutes, we've made 110 points there. You know, using one standard lot, 110 points. That's $1,000 right there from just that one move within 10 minutes. What can I say? The strategy is very powerful. It is quite consistent. If you scalp it, the win rate is in the, if I'm modest, I say in the 80s. But realistically, I mean, try it out for yourself. You figure out what the win rate is. You try it out, you see potentially the win rate is in the 90s, but I'm not gonna be one of those YouTubers that tell you that I have a 90% win rate or a 80% win rate. Well, 80%, yeah, that's fair to be honest. But a 90% or 100% win rate, I'm not gonna do that. You backtest it and figure it out and let me know. So we've got another zone here. Consolidation and a drop. Now this one's a lot easier to read than the previous one. And this is clearly the zone that it's being held in and it drops there. So we're looking for the first reaction from the re-entry of the zone here. So go across there. We can see it there. And let's just zoom in. And we have our move there. Now I did mention that this kind of price action is a lot harder to trade, and I'm going to show you why in a second. So let's just look at this, how much points we got from this move there. 37 points, fair bit of drawdown, but you got 37 points, and if you held it, you would have got a lot more. For instance, 120 points there. But back to what I was saying, this price action here is a lot harder to to trade. It took me months to get my head around this. So I hope you appreciate that I'm sharing this with you. If you do, you know what to do. Hit the like button. If you find content like this value, hit the subscribe button, because I'm going to try to release more videos sharing my tips on what helped me become profitable. So I'm going to show you here why I say this is quite hard to trade, because basically here, this is the actual zone. It's a lot bigger when it's ascending. So the zone is here, yeah, and it's very hard to realistically trade this, because this is 116 points zone. So I'm not going to place a stop loss for 116 points. So how do you trade this? So this is our imbalance, and as you can see, price did re-enter for the first time, and it reacted. So some of those unfulfilled orders was met there. So what we're looking for now, what I've learned, is that I'm looking for anything past this point here and below this point here. So let's go across and let's see if we've got our first reaction, and that would have been the first reaction there. Yeah, that would have been our first reaction from that zone. Let's drag this across a bit. So first reaction from that zone there, that's how I would have traded it from what I've learned from reading these charts and backtesting. That would have been my first reaction, and that's 117 points with a, what was that, 34 point drawdown. So another 1 to 3 there, and that's how I would have traded that zone. You could have held it and risked it and got a lot more from it, or you could have just scalped that move. I prefer just scalping moves. I don't want to sit around in consolidation. I don't want the anxiety or my nerves or the emotions to creep in. I just want to get that quick move and I'm gone. And again, that's 100 points. I don't really need more than that. Some consolidation here, aggressive buying, but very hard to read because the price action here is incomplete. There's a gap here, so that's not a good example. We can't really use that as to show you a example of supply and demand there. That's a few of them. I think I'll give you enough really. Let's see if we can find one more. So all of this is very choppy price action, and I would not be involved. Okay, let's see. Looks like I've got a zone to the left of me. Get rid of this box. Let's see, what do we have here? So there's one here, and there's another one here. So let's look at the one I've got drawn out already. So consolidation here, price breaks out, return straight away, not interested in trading that. It breaks out here, leaves our imbalance, and eventually comes back down. So we are interested in trading this. So this is the imbalance candle, and that's what we're looking for price to react to once it reaches back into that zone at this point. Yeah, at that point. So let's drag it across, and there we go. So we do have some drawdown this time, and we have, what was that, 4 points. Let's call that, let's call that 5 points. Let's call that 5 points. So we've got 5 points drawdown, and our first reaction up here gives us 125 points. If we're going to round that down, so only fair we round this up. So 5 points drawdown, 125 points TP there. I mean, you're laughing. What is that? I don't even know the risk to reward ratio there, but you do the numbers, you do the back testing, see if it works for yourself, and get back to me and let me know how it goes. This is my strategy in terms of stop losses, in terms of risk management. Like I said, I may do another video for that in the future. If there is a demand for it, hit me up in the comments and let me know, and I may get around to doing that. It is something that you need to apply to make this a consistently successful strategy. If you do not apply proper risk management on this, I mean, there's your move. If you held it too long, you're going to be taken out. If you over leveraged, if you don't place a stop loss, you're going to lose that. But anyway, so I digress a little bit. But point being, this is the strategy. Go ahead, backtest it, see if it works for you. If it does, and you find value in this and it's something you can use, it's only right, it's only fair. Hit that like button. If you want more content like this, hit the subscribe button, and I will try and get as much videos and as much examples of this out and keep sharing with you my progress, personal journey, and my tips and lessons I've learned that made me more profitable. So I'm going to wrap it up there. Hope you've enjoyed this. Until next time, this is Patrick signing out. Peace.